Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line, and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. Do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, in the beginning we'll take few minutes to clarify ourselves, understand ourselves, how this meditation practice can help for our inner development and how it can contribute for us to have a clarity inside us. Because when you don't get anything, in a very conventional mind, people don't do anything. But at the same time, when you have the idea to get something, deeply, we lose a lot of things. So meditation also the same. When you have an idea in your mind, because we are very ordinary people, when you have an idea to get something out of meditation, and when you sit for meditation, unknowingly you lose something. So that's why this understanding will help you to become more smart with your own mind. So when it comes to meditation, one thing is, we can't teach meditation. But at the same time, we can share some informations. That is what I do. I just share some informations. So once you're able to get that informations, and by yourself, you will understand something. That what you understand by yourself will help for you when you sit. So then you have to more need to focus to inside you and see what you understand before you practice meditation. Because have a very clear, crystal clear clarity in you. And don't afraid for that. Question for it, go for it. If you don't have any kind of clarity in you, again and again, go for it and look into from every direction and find the very clear meaning to yourself, and then sit because that's how I used to practice myself from the beginning. And then I understood, because when there is no clear understanding in myself, whatever I'm going to do, it doesn't work end of the day. So that's why I want to share as information yourself, remember, for yourself. Keep the clarity in you when you try to understand something, because the information change the vibration inside you. That's everything has a kind of like a vibration that through the vibration, your entire body can recognize it. So we are kind of like, it has ability to change the capacity of your recognition. It brings the clarity to yourself, because otherwise without that clarity, it's kind of like the fish can't experience the land. Fish always depend on the water and cannot get out of it. And even if there is no any kind of desire or any kind of hopes or any kind of effort to get out of the water, if you try to bring the fish out of the water, what will happen? It try to go back to its own nature. So there are mushrooms early in the morning. It wake up. And then by the time around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening, it die. So it doesn't have capacity to understand the night. You can't explain it. There are certain mushrooms, it come at night. After 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, or maybe in the middle of the night. But by the morning, it already dead. So that kind of mushrooms can't recognize the sunlight, because it doesn't have that capacity to go with it. And then there are worms that, that the worms that inside the ground, that they can't understand the sky. Like turtles, they can't recognize, they can't understand, they can't experience flying. So like that in our mind also, we have certain, according to our own environment, our believing, our culture, tradition, our religions, teachings, according to that, we also have a certain kind of capacity to understand. And sometimes once we hold it to inside that, we become like the fish under the water. We become like that mushrooms, limited to only 8 hours of the day. We become kind of like a turtle, always related to the ground. So, but human mind has capacity to go beyond that. It has capacity to transform these levels and go beyond that what you know. You have capacity to go beyond what you recognize, what you see. But the thing is, when we have a strong desires, when we very disconnect from who we are, we cannot develop that current. We can't get into that understanding. So in the very beginning, you have to remember that the thought currents, by thinking itself, you can't do this. So then you have to bring some kind of certain kind of understanding. So that is what informations. So teachings mean sharing informations. So when the information, once you gather it properly, once you get it, and then what happened? Your mind develops certain kind of vibration. And that vibration has capacity to transform you from this level to something else. So when you get the informations, this is something. When you get the information, when you receive, when you become the receiver, you have to have some quality in you. So what is that quality? Undisturbed mind. So another way is stillness. So that is where the awareness is going to active. Because when you have the disturbed mind, the awareness become always weaker. So awareness is not, this is a kind of, this we have done, awareness is not something that we put attention to outside world. So sometimes we say, oh, I'm aware about it. I am very mindful about that. Oh, I'm aware about you. I keep watching what you keep doing. So like that, sometimes we say things and we always ponder and look and search outside. So that is not the awareness. In very conventional life, to maintain our ordinary life, you need that maybe. But that is not the awareness. So the awareness is you put attention to inside you. Awareness, you put attention to your bodily, verbally, mentally actions. You recognize that what is happening in you. That recognition will bring some kind of wisdom regarding our own life. That is what we need. Not the rocket science. Not other kind of that the machines or the technology wisdom. Because that human beings also have the same kind of this mechanism. And recently there was the research has done, and all these rocket science people, the engineers, they also doesn't have that kind of like a different kind of mindset. They also have kind of like a you and me, the same kind of mind and the same kind of mental abilities. Only thing is, once they start to develop something within their hands and environment, they get used to it. And by the time what happens, they become smart with that things. But the life science itself, the same for all of us. So then that the important thing that you have to understand, rather than focusing to the outside, believing and thinking there is something else that you can get to your mind and become a different person or become somebody else, you have to look into you, inside you, and see what is happening within you. Because that basic knowledge regarding life is unique. It's a universal. Billion years ago, that whoever as a human being used to be in this planet or another planet, the same experience. Even after billion years, whoever come to this world, that person also going to experience the same thing happening in you. It's not going to come with the different organs. It's not going to come with the different kind of hands or the legs or the kind of like things. No, it's going to be the same like this. So then, if you recognize this mechanism, it becomes universal understanding. That is where you come to a point to experience some kind of satisfaction. Because that stillness you develop within your own observation, recognizing and within your own awareness, will bring the ability to not to attach something. So this is what happening when you develop the stillness. When the awareness come to your moment within yourself, when you have the undisturbed mind, what happens? The non-attachment going to be there. You detach from everything. Then there is no effort to let go. So when you detach from everything, when you have the non-attachment state in your mind, that is what another way we call contentment. You complete as who you are. So that contentment is just not only mental response. Your entire body start to accept it and be with that. And then you become healthy. Your entire head to toes, your whole body start to function to its own natural rhythm. And then there is a certain kind of energy going to arise in you. That energy is not the energy we take from outside. It is different. There is something in you that you have to bring that energy up, being in the kind of like a tranquility state or developing stillness. And when you have that stillness or the tranquility state, you gain non-attachment state. And then once you have that state, you have the contentment. So out of that contentment, your entire body and mind, that everything start to unify, harmonize, harness. And out of that, what happened? You become complete as a human being with the body and mind in this natural environment. So it brings some kind of energy. So that energy, what happened? It affects for your head to toes, all your body. When you have that energy, the eye, the ear, nose, tongue, body, that mind, that function as ordinary person start to pick up certain kind of energy from that biochemical energy, that bioelectricity happening in you. And then that what you see become very clear. What you hear become very clear. What you smell, what you taste become very clear for you. And for your body, what you feel become very clear. That clarity take you out of the doubt. That clarity itself bring the clear perception. And it bring the certain kind of understanding with the moment. See that tranquility state, how it develop and how the mechanism, body and mind, this physical mechanism, it's kind of like a machine help you to catch some informations. So just imagine then, when you have, so reverse the pattern. When you have disturbed mind, what happens? So let's go back. When you have disturbed mind, that is where the attachment comes. Think about it. Question yourself. When you have disturbed mind, the attachment comes. And out of the attachment, you lose the contentment, unsatisfaction comes. And out of that unsatisfaction, what happened? You disconnect from you, head to toes. That's where you become unhealthy. It's not like that kind of like a healthy mean that you live a very long life. No, the moment of life, how you productive for you, how you head to toes this each and everything come together, how you, what you experience in the moment. Just imagine you live 100 years as a very ignorant person. You kind of like living in the dark. What's the point? That's not a healthy life. There are animals live more than us. No, so then you have to remember the healthy means that mechanism start to work as one. So once your body and mind come together, when when you have the contentment, that is where the healthy body going to be there. So otherwise, when you have the unsatisfaction, unhealthy body going to be there. So then what happens? When you have that the disconnection in your body, that what you see, you can't recognize. You're not going to see exactly as it is. Another way it called the vipallasa. Flip, it's go up and down. It is white, you start to argue it is red. It is right thing, it is good thing, you start to argue, think it has a bad, wrong thing. It's go up, you start to see it kind of like it's go down. So like that what we see not going to become very clear. It's become something else. That is where we have to fix, not kind of like a gaining that. You have to remember that your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, those are the kind of like antennas, okay? So be very clear with the signals that you receive as perception, and then things going to be something for you. So in the very first level, you have to come to that level. So when you disconnect, what happened, what you see going to flip. And what you hear, somebody say something, you recognize it's completely wrong way. So then what will happen? You break down. And there's a smell come and you cannot handle it. You think maybe wrong thing, maybe you get as a good. So as example, just imagine if there is a poison, you smell, oh, it is so good. What will happen to you? Because whatever comes nose and the tongue has a deeper connection. That's why people, before they drink like a wine, some food, before they eat food, what they do? They smell it a little bit. It has a deeper connection. So if in case, just imagine, if you smell the poison and you feel, oh, it's so good, then what will happen? Where it go? It go to your mouth. See? So that's the thing. And when you see something, oh, you see it is, it's kind of like, oh, it's beautiful. Maybe it is very dangerous. So then what will happen? Your whole body go that way. So the sensation the same. The people are the same sometimes. And sometimes wrong people come to us and we don't see it. It is there. The wrong doesn't mean that person bad. That mean maybe that person doesn't work for us. That's it. Because different people have different ideas. And so when that ideas or that their path doesn't work with us, it's very difficult for us to handle with that. But in the beginning, we don't see that. Some person like to go to right and you want to go to left. And then what will happen if you hold it to that person? It always only the struggle. That's it. There's nothing else. So then in the beginning, if you have that healthy, the clear mind, what happens? In the very beginning, you're going to recognize it. What you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you feel, even whatever comes to your mind, and it's become very clear for you. That clarity is the beginning of wisdom. It is in you. You are the one who experiencing it. It's nothing to do with outside. It is with you, within you. You experience it. And even you can't give it to somebody. Only thing is you can experience, you can share that as information. That's it. So then bring it to that, develop that. So when you don't have that kind of even just very simple understanding, we very deeply disconnect from the very nature of life. I will give a very simple example, and sometimes you get a message or you get a phone call. Within another 1 hour, somebody died. It's related to you. And you get so disappointed. And sometimes what happens, especially with the funeral and that things, people don't know what to do. But look, in this entire universe, so wherever, if anybody, there is a life, there is a death. This is thing. This is what you have to understand. Okay. If you hear somebody died related to you, how will your mind come to a point to disappointed? And how will your mind come to a point to experience that yourself, you don't know what to do? That's the dying is not the problem. And getting the message, even why ourselves, we don't know what to do. And sometimes you go, oh, this person died, I don't know what to do. Why is that? You see, very simple. It's not a kind of like a rocket science. That's why we always know that. Everywhere we hear it. We always see that. Even especially during this almost 2 years now, we already experience everywhere the death. But when it comes to in front of you, how it is possible? Your mind come to a point to say, you don't know what to do. Look into that. Question yourself. Why? Because what happened so far in your life, maybe. So what happened to you? So where your mind was? Didn't you see other people died? Didn't you know that the death is inevitable? So if you knew that, why you don't know what to do? That's the question. And then everything the same. So whatever that things, and sometimes you lose your cell phone nowadays. You don't have a car nowadays, maybe suddenly. Your cable doesn't work. You can't watch TV or computer or like that, something, You lose your work, or you don't have any money in your hand like this. Your credit card doesn't work suddenly. So then you come to, I don't know what to do. Why it happened that? Because those are very, very normal things. It can happen anywhere for any person. So that is where we disconnect. Not something we have to reach to higher level. No. See that in the bottom level, there's very simple things that happening to us around us. Those are the part of our life. No, aliens not going to come as us and have a kind of like a, communication with us and trying to give a kind of like a wisdom like that. No. If a death happen, right away, no, you don't collapse, you not cry, you not, weeping, you not go kind of like a crazy here and there. You know what to do. That's the wisdom you need in the very basic. You lose something, you know what to do. You don't kind of like a disturb out of it. You break something, you don't get disturbed out of it. Something doesn't work, your car, you don't have a car, you don't have the cell phone, you don't get disturbed out of it. Somebody kick you out, no, you don't get disturbed out of it. People break up all this in the human history. This everybody, experience breakup. Everywhere that is what we experience. Even from king to queen to, the homeless person, everybody, this, somebody will kick you out. That's how. Maybe you kick out a lot of people from your life, the same like other people also kick you out. It's going to happen. If it didn't happen to you, remember this, it's going to happen to you. This kind of exactly, 100% clear weather forecast, okay? Somebody will kick you out one day. So when it happened like that way, be happy. Okay, let's move forward. Just do whatever you want to do. So just move forward. That's it. That's what to settle down himself. Otherwise, you crying, weeping, and you become miserable. You think this is the end of the life, and you feel kind of like you lost. So that doesn't work in life. Why it happened like that way? Because remember, stillness. What the stillness bring to you? Non-attachment. So when somebody kick you out, when something break down, when something disappear, when you lose something, why you get into disappointment? Because attachment. So why the attachment come? Because your mind is not still. Your mind is not have tranquility state. That's the reason, not the outside incident, not the outside circumstances. Your mind not still. That's why the attachment going to be there. So that's why when something happens, unsatisfaction going to be with us. That's why that head to toes, that the physical we are disconnected. That's why when something here, smell, taste, we can't get into that exactly as it is. That's where we're going to go with the wrong understanding. And that is where once you understand something wrong, that's where we get into wrong actions. That wrong actions, that is where we're going to take us to the wrong places. That's where again and again when you experience it, that is what we have the struggle. Because when things right, there is no struggle. It's just a moment of experience. That's it. When you come to the balance, there is no effort. It's like, look at it as a child, as a baby, how difficult for you to find the balance with your left and right. To walk, you're crawling, going here and there, falling down. And then once you find the balance, what happened to you? Have you ever have intention to keep the balance with you and walk? No. So in the mind, the same. Once you get into that stillness, that is what happens. That is where you get out of the practice and you live with it. That's what you need. So when it comes to that stillness and that development in the beginning, remember, don't go for, the long practice session like sitting. So in the beginning, have a very quality, solid, tranquility state, even 5 minutes, 10 minutes, keep like that way. And little by, because it need to come without giving hard time to you, without pushing yourself too much. Without developing internal unnecessary pressure. So then remember, keep a kind of like a short time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And by the time you will pick up, your body will pick up in a little by little, in a certain level, you come to a point. You are sitting, your practice, develop a certain kind of discipline itself. So then you have no effort to hold it to that, because itself, it's going to be with you. So give a try little by little, first try to understand the mechanism, the method, and then in day-to-day life, apply it to your practice and keep the information as the roots, because those are giving the trees inside you. It has your information. Once it becomes right, that information has power to multiply inside you. They're going to give you kind of like a wisdom you can apply to anything in day-to-day life. This basic fundamental, ethics related to this body and mind mechanism, you can apply to anything. So that is where it becomes itself your life. So then the meditation is not a kind of like a separate from you. Your ordinary life is not a separate something from you. No, you just live with the moment. And then itself, that kind of living give you kind of like the comfort, satisfaction deeply inside you. So out of that kind of person, there is no harm going to happen to that person or to the outside world, because it deeply bringing a kind of like a harness body and mind and universe. Because once you tune to that universal rhythm or the vibration or the law, then there is no another law that you can break. Once you disconnect from that law, we are ability to break down any other, domestic laws. No, once we get into the highest level of the universal law, once you live with it, once you become part of it, once you become part of it to nourish the universal law, this domestic law is not necessary. Because everywhere you go, that whatever you do, become a part of the universe. So that is what we need. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit. So our practice is observing our own inhalation, exhalation in the beginning, and just allow everything to settle down. So, and at the same time, remember not to verbalize that when you experience the sensation in front of your nose and your upper lip area. And don't interfere with it. Don't try to make anything happen the way you want. Just let everything to settle down. Simply try to experience the inhalation, exhalation through the sensation of it, not by visualizing. Knowingly, when it happens, this is inhalation, this is exhalation. So knowingly doesn't mean when it happens, you verbalize it. Just experience it. So with that, bring your right palm to your left, neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. Bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes and say Suapat Veva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. And take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathing, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. Do nothing extra. If your mind go here and there, bring it back again and again. Just settle down with the sensation of breathing. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata cha ammehi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammang pujemi sanghang pujemi Attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam ha paribunjissami idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahan hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless you.